Hello, this is Fam Electric Ghost. So, hi.
Hi.
So, yeah, you're the last guest for this year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we've had a pretty good year so far. But so I know that I've seen like your billboard in Times Square, right, for your new project.
Yes.
So, let everybody know we have Kendra Black on the line, and we're doing our last interview for the year. It's Fam Electric Ghost. But yeah, maybe talk about what's on that billboard and what your new project is.
So I'm about to release an album called The Fire. It'll be released on February 1st. And it's more of an EDM pop-infused project, a bit different from what I've done in the past, which was purely pop and more of a hip-hop feel. So I'm really excited and promoting this project a lot. So the Times Square billboard was a real blessing. It looked amazing. And it's really helping to promote the project and everything that goes with it.
So did you work with a lot of different producers for this compared to what you've done before, or some of the same people?
Yeah, I mean, there were actually like different people this time. I worked with Enrico Tiberi. He's an Italian producer, but he lives in Berlin. And he made most of the tracks on the album. And then I worked with a couple different producers that are New York based. And yeah, so I really like this album because it's a good mix of EDM, but also more of a like slow feel. Like some songs really have the Weekend vibe, I think personally,
Okay.
and the others are more EDM. So it's a good mix.
Yeah, because electronic music and EDM is really kind of like, this is like a new like wave era where, you know, I'm an electronic artist myself, so I'm always happy to see people go in that direction. But yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff you can do with electronic music today.
Yeah.
And it's interesting that a lot of artists are finding, you know, ways to get back into it. It's not just like an 80s revival. It's a modern interpretation of what had been done back in the 80s and 90s, and now it's kind of come back.
Yeah, no, absolutely. There's definitely a lot of elements that are coming back, and it's nice that we're at a point, I think, in music where we're not afraid to experiment and also bring back some of the stuff that was done and also combine it with new stuff that hasn't been done yet. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, because EDM a lot of times gets associated with like DJs or artists that are, you know, combining all kinds of sounds. But there's a lot of EDM artists that don't just sample; they actually create, you know, songs with synthesizers, with all kinds of like modern electronic music equipment.
Yeah.
And so it's sometimes the genre is not fully understood, but maybe you want to get more into like how you're using EDM for your album.
Yeah. So whenever I try to do EDM, I always strive to include a lot of songwriting elements because I don't want it to be strictly electronic, but I want it to be a good, I guess, marriage between electronic music and the vocals. I want them both to have importance equally. So it was interesting to make these tracks, and I was really inspired to do that because I really like always was dying to do an EDM project. So this is, I guess, my own kind of EDM. It's obviously like the EDM we have out there, but I'm excited to see what people's reactions are going to be because it is a little bit different from what you find out there.
Yeah, because a lot of EDM is more like dance music without vocals.
Yeah, exactly. The vocals aren't the main, I guess, part of it.
They're not, usually not the main focus. It's actually the beat and the drops, and there's a certain structure. But what I've seen lately is you got bands like Churches, you've got a lot of electronic bands. They're actually bringing elements of the new wave, you know, going back to the original new wave, and those were songs. They weren't just like dance instrumentals. And so I think there's a merging of both, because you can take like the EDM DJ elements and then mix it with songcraft and actually, you know, create music. That's kind of where I am.
Nice.
My music is like I take electronic music and I kind of go back a little bit. I go to like progressive electronic, where you go back to bands like Yes and Genesis and Emerson, Lake and Palmer, which are very different than what modern synth music is. But
Yeah. Oh, I
that's
love
kind of,
Genesis.
yeah, there was a lot of, especially like the Peter Gabriel Genesis, which was very forward thinking, had a lot of like science fiction elements, a lot of like rock opera elements. So it was very really progressive, very kind of out there, very sci-fi, Harlan Ellison inspired songs. So you
Yeah.
had like really deep, like art rock.
Yeah.
And then it's cool to actually see people realizing that you can take these genres and really move them forward. I've been talking to a lot of artists lately that are doing this type of thing, so it's kind of like a new wave coming through.
Nice. Yeah, an artist that inspires me a lot, I think, is an artist called Trace. And she does a lot of EDM stuff with very meaningful lyrics and vocals, and that really inspired me a lot. And
Cool.
also this other artist called Sikik. But he's not very EDM. He's more of pop slash R&B type vibe, and he really inspired me for my album as well because of the general vibe of his songs, and just the way he sings them, the way the voice is clear and kind of like on the same I guess level as the instrumental. So I really I produce as well
Hmm.
sometimes, so I really like to get all the levels right because it really changes the vibe that a song has, when the finished product is released.
So do you have like in synthesizers? There's a big like I don't know. There's always like talk between using analog synths and digital synths and sampling synths. I don't know if you're into that debate about which things are better. It's kind of like the debate between vinyl and like MP3s.
Oh
There's
yeah.
there's certain people that feel like analog synthesizers have more heft and have a better sound than digital or sample based synthesizers. Do you have any like opinions on stuff like that?
Well, I think it depends on the artist, honestly. But like as far as my projects go, I like to use very natural sounding instruments and very natural sounding vocals, and combining them with the EDM track. So I'll make a good mix of very untouched, like raw instruments or vocals with really like rhythmic EDM going on, and I think that's really cool. But there's artists like I feel like Sikik does that. The rapper I just mentioned, like
Mm-hmm.
he really uses a lot of um, like purely electronic stuff, and that sounds amazing. So honestly, it depends on the artist. It depends on what the finished product sounds like.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of merging. I mean, a lot of artists. I mean, myself, I have analog and digital synths. I have sampling synths. I have like real basses and real guitars.
Yeah,
And there's different palettes for different things. Certain songs, it might be better to use a drum machine. Other songs, you use a real drummer.
yeah,
With some songs you use a Moog. Other ones you might use a sampling synth that's not a full analog synth. So it's kind of like it's nothing that's wrong. There's different tools for the job. As an artist, you use a different palette based on what you're feeling. So some days, like using like a Hammond organ might be required, and other days you could use a plugin. It
yeah,
just depends on what
absolutely.
what you're doing, and there's no wrong or right way. But there's what I like is that the fact that people can bring back a Hammond or use a Moog or use
Yeah.
a Prophet. That's kind of cool. So from where I'm coming from, but
No, I agree with that.
so are you gonna tour this record when it comes out in February? You got a tour plan?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So pretty much like for the release of my latest single, Dangerless, I'm gonna be touring. I'm not quite sure what the exact dates are, but when I have them, I will post them on my website and social media so people can follow me. But I'm definitely gonna tour starting from mid February until probably April, May, or even beyond, depending on how things go. I already have a show. I'm currently in Italy, so I already
Wow,
have a show on
awesome.
January 6th at a very important theater called Santa Cecilia. And I will be premiering the new songs on my album together with some jazz collaborations with a very famous jazz band and jazz musicians, including Giuseppe Medici, which is really well known in the city. So that's my first, I guess, stop of the tour because I will
Hmm.
be displaying the songs of the album, and then I will have a show in New York in February, and then after that, I'll be traveling in the U.S. just to tour and to get my music out there.
So you're gonna do like a East Coast, West Coast, or stay on one coast?
Hopefully both, honestly. Like last year, we had a lot of dates adding up, and I'll just see where it takes me. So
Cool.
yeah, right now this is the first date I'll have on January 6th. It's actually 2 a.m. over here, but I'm awake because it's like 8 p.m. in New York. So yeah, I've been in Italy for the past 3 days, and I might also be singing on New Year's Eve at an event as a guest. And I actually will be flying back here in March because they last night they actually invited me to play at the same theater, Santa Cecilia, in March. For like a charity performance. So I'm really excited about
Awesome.
that.
You had done that before last time you went to Italy. You did a jazz performance, right?
Yeah, so I'm going to be performing with the same artists on January 6th. So the band of Giuseppe Medici and the pianist, bass player, and drummer of his band. And then in March, it's going to be a different band, but the same theater. So
Wow.
yeah, I branched out quite a lot over here because this is originally where I'm from. So
Hmm.
yeah, so people know me.
Have you ever thought of maybe recording these jazz concerts and maybe putting out a live record?
Yeah, no, I would love to. The concert in July, last time I was here, went really well. And I always had a jazz side to my music, and I had jazz teachers help me with my style and everything. But I never like actually recorded or performed anything like that. I just used it for my training and to get better
Hmm.
with my EDM and pop and everything. But I love doing it. And the concert in July was a success. We overbooked. So that was a really
That'd
big
be,
success.
yeah, it'd be cool if you actually did like a soundboard recording, and then maybe later in your career you could put it out at some point. But yeah, if you
Yeah.
continue to do it, you maybe think about sound recording it so you could, eventually put it out. You don't have, maybe not right now because you're doing other things, but it would be cool to actually, have that.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I would love that.
Yeah, because a lot of bands find out when you record your live stuff, it ends up being something that's like in the bank, of what you've done, and later you can always put it out. So it's always a good idea,
Hmm.
to do that if you can. I mean, there's always overhead to try to record your live concerts, but
Yeah.
it's cool if you could. That'd be awesome because it's a different vision of what you're doing, and it's cool to see the breadth of your artistry. The fact that you're doing that too is cool.
Yeah, in July we did a very cool cover song of American Boy by Estelle and Jay-Z, and that was it was really cool. Um, like I adapted it to my style, and I obviously did both her singing part and his rap part, and it was a real success. So I wouldn't mind recording that one. A lot of people told me I should
Hmm.
because it was really nice. So I'm definitely planning on doing that.
That's awesome. Yeah, so that's something for 2019. You might think of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, because I love it when artists kind of cross genres, and you're continually working on things. I mean, you work with Snoop Dogg, you're doing this EDM stuff, you're doing jazz work, so you're showing versatility and adventuresome. I like it when artists don't stay within a certain lane.
I
It's
agree.
cool.
Yeah.
It makes it more exciting. It makes it more interesting. So kudos to you for that because I think that's awesome.
Thank you.
So is there anything you want to say to the fans? I know you're up late. I don't want to take too much time unless there's more you want to talk about.
Oh, I'm awake.
Okay,
But
cool.
yeah, so I'm going to be having the show in Italy on January 6th. I'm going to post videos on my YouTube page and my social media. Then hopefully I will also perform on New Year's Eve on January 1st. That's something they just asked me to do. So I have to figure out if it's possible rehearsal wise and everything. But when I come back to New York, I am going to have a release show close to the release date on February 1st. I mean,
Awesome.
um, that will also be posted on my social media. And that show is going to be a really big show in New York. So I hope everyone can make it to that. And then, yeah, as soon as I announce the tour, I hope people come over to see me. And while they're there, they can also check out the new KB Sports apparel, which I designed in Italy. So once I get back to New York, I'll actually have some brand new styles on the website and new
Oh
stuff
wow.
to sell. Yeah, because I design it over here and then they make it in London and then they bring it to New York. So it's a very cool process, let's
Well, you've been
say.
working hard. You've got a lot of things going on.
Yeah, no, I love taking care of all aspects of my music.
Yeah, that's cool because I mean that's what you have to do today. You have to have a lot of different, you know, kettles on the fire.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But yeah, I mean, we've been able to been this year has been very good for us. We started the year, we only had like 200 listeners. Now we're at 4,900. Um, we actually have corporate sponsors now, and we've interviewed like 20 different individuals between bands and actors. We've actually interviewed actors in New York City. So we've been very excited about what we're doing, and our platform now. We're on Spotify, we're on Apple podcasting, we're on Google, we're on like 12 different platforms now. So when we
Nice.
put these podcasts out, there's a lot wider audience. We're getting average 1,000 to 2,000 listeners a month, with a total of like almost 5,000. So our goal is to hit like 10K for next year, which we're online for.
Oh
So
yeah.
so we're starting to move up, and it's helping us as an artist too. It's helping us get contacts. So yeah, it's interesting what you have to do as an artist sometimes to get out there.
Yeah, you
But
really nowadays you really have to branch out. You have to have the whole package. You have to be popular in social media. You have to be a good artist. Otherwise, what's the point? And
yeah,
you also have to promote your music. So not only you have to make a good product, but you also have to be very active into promoting it and putting it out there and making sure people see it. So it's really a whole 360 degrees process. But it's fun, honestly. So I
it's
don't mind
cool.
it.
Yeah, you've got your clothing line, their apparel line, and then you've got a lot of other things. And you're an international artist, so that gives you like other options compared to artists that might be kind of just staying within one zone or not. So
Yeah.
that's really cool. And there's a lot of cool stuff going on. Nowadays, like there's a big resurgence in vinyl. There's a lot of artists that they're able to be successful in that vinyl arena. Have you thought about putting any of your work on vinyl, or you're still just like download or CD?
Oh yeah, no, I definitely thought about it, especially this new stuff that is coming up because it's much more. The funny thing is, it is more EDM, it is more electronic, but it's also much more song written than the stuff that I put out in the past. So it's a really good mix, and I would love to hear it on vinyl. So I definitely thought about that, and it's something that I will be doing very soon.
That's cool. Yeah, because we're actually moving toward that. We got a limited release for the Ghost that we're putting out in April,
Nice.
and it's pretty cool that the fans seem to be gravitating more toward that than CDs.
Yeah.
What we've seen is like fans be more willing to actually buy a vinyl
Yeah, no, it is
album than a
because like
CD.
the sound quality is so much better. So for real music lovers, it's just amazing to hear your favorite records on vinyl. Like every time I go to a music store and I buy a vinyl, it's just like a whole different experience listening to the song as if I were listening to it for the first time. So,
And I think
yeah.
what's good about the vinyl format is if you're an artist that writes like a record that has a theme, and you kind of want your listener to like, not just pick and choose tracks, that the vinyl format and the listeners that are into the vinyl format will listen to your whole record.
Yeah,
Because the
exactly.
way vinyl works is you don't usually just sit there and listen to one track. You
Hmm.
actually will listen to the whole record. So if you're an artist that has like ideas that fit an album, that having your fans listening to it on vinyl, I think, is kind of what you want to happen because they'll listen to the whole concept.
Yes, absolutely. And I think it's really important also that we have all these apps now like Apple Music and stuff that makes the entire album available to the listener, which
Hmm.
for a while, for a very short while, we lost a while ago. And we
Hmm.
were just like, when people started um, discovering what downloading songs illegally was like. So you would
Yeah, yeah.
download one track and then the other track you liked. But now we don't need to do it anymore because our fans are actually like wanting to and trying to download the whole thing. So that's a real blessing because when I put out this album, which is going to be 10 tracks, so my new album is going to be called The Fire, and it has a whole concept behind it, obviously. So I would really want whoever listens to it to listen to the whole thing and
Hmm.
get the whole idea from it instead of just listening to their favorite one or two tracks. I think that's really important, and it changes the way people experience the record.
Yeah, because there's still a lot of people that will create a playlist of multiple artists and just pick and choose what they like, which is, what modern fans tend to do. But there appears to be a resurgence in the album format.
Yeah.
So there are people that are still listening to albums kind of like the old fashioned way, which I described, with vinyl kind of forces you into that. But it's
Mhm.
cool that people have options. They're the audiophiles who want to hear something on vinyl, that want to have that experience. When they see the artwork that's full size, that you can do in that format, it kind of gives like the fans a different experience where it's not just the music; it's actually the presentation of the
Yeah.
music, which is kind of cool. It gets you into a different zone when you create a piece of work, because then you think about like what's going to go in there. Is it going to be a poster? Is it going to have a concept on the front and the back? So yeah, I mean, CDs can do that, and you can do stuff with music videos where you can present your art. But the vinyl was kind of like the premier way of doing that, and it's cool that it's coming back. But it's interesting. You say you feel your fans are downloading your whole project, which is really cool.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Because also I'm going to be having music videos coming out soon for all the tracks. My track "This Love" is going to be the main single, so that music video is going to be the first one to be released very soon, and then I'm going to have a few more released after that. Because honestly, all the tracks of this album mean so much to me and were so inspiring to me to create and also to listen to that I just had to release music videos for them. So yeah, so I'm excited about all this content coming out really soon and to see what people think of it because it is going to be just a little bit different from what I've released in the past. So yeah, it's a little more me.
Are there specific like music video directors that you worked with that you want to like name check or talk about for your?
Sure. So the music video producer of my single "Rude" featuring Snoop Dogg was Mills Miller Media, and he was really good. I would love to work on it with him again on some songs of this new album. We're still working out who's going to record what because, like I said, we're going to have a few music videos coming out. So it's going to be different people working on them. I also worked with other New York City local people so far for music video recording, like Leonardo Pallenberg and Matthew Alvaro. And hopefully they'll take part in recording the new videos as well. But it also depends on my management people and who they pick and choose for that. But I'm already getting ready for the whole concepts, which I already know. And getting ready to really portray them as best as I can because
Mhm.
I feel like these songs that I'm about to release are very, very deep and they deserve the maximum, let's say, production and also they deserve everyone involved in the project to really dive into what the idea is because I know what it is because I wrote it, but
Mhm.
I really want the people that help me produce it and put it out there to really understand what every single song means to me because once they do, the final product would be so much better, you know?
Yeah. So a question, like when you do videos and you work with a director, do you let the director interpret the song, or do you have your own vision and kind of want your vision to be what the director is going for? Do you kind of let the directors go with what they think it means?
Well, I tried to let the director go with what he thinks, but like always end up taking control in some way, because I just the thing about me is I know exactly what I'm trying to portray and convey with my song or video or whatever I'm releasing. So whenever I work with someone in the production of something, I want to make sure they share that vision. So I obviously do let professionals do their work, no doubt about that, but I want to make sure that it's always in line with what I'm trying to release and communicate to my listeners, because to me that's really important.
So this album has a theme that you've been that you have a concept. So would your videos kind of like be interrelated, or would they all be a kind of stand on their own? Do you have an idea that you would make videos that kind of connect, or would you keep each song
Well,
separate?
the thing about this album is it's all about that fire, also, leading back to the title of the album, the fire. The fire that pushes you to do things and just go for your dreams, and just the fuel that keeps you going, basically. That's what I was trying to do with this album. So as far as the music videos go, they're not necessarily connected in a way that you would see straight away, but once you listen to the whole album and you watch all the music videos, you will see how they in fact are, because every single track leads to something that really drives you and pushes you to reach a certain idea or goal or dream, or
That's
like,
cool.
yeah.
So
So
so you have a common theme. You have like an idea that might not be readily apparent, but it should. If you put everything together and you watch them all together, you'll kind of feel it.
yeah, exactly.
That's cool. Yeah, I like this. That's why I like albums. That's why I like the idea of album oriented music. It's kind of like it makes me dated a little bit because it's a big thing in the '70s. It's like that's what it was. But it's cool to see like a lot of folks today, a lot of artists I've been talking to are doing album oriented concepts. Out of a lot of interviews I've made in the last 12 months, most of the artists are thinking about album oriented ideas rather than just straight singles, which is cool for me because as a music fan, I like to see that.
Of course, yeah.
So that's really, really cool that you're still moving forward in your career. You've moved into multiple genres. You're doing live performance. You're mixing, different types of musical forms, and yeah, and you're still very, directed in what you want to do. And you've got the visual in terms of video. You've got your business. So I wish you even more success in 2019. And yeah, hopefully we can talk to you more when you actually release the album
Oh
to
yeah,
try to
absolutely.
help you with that. Yeah, so we're very happy that you talked to us, and we'll look forward to like seeing your project.
Yes. So I'll definitely be sharing links to music and videos very soon, and obviously tour dates and all that. And yeah, I would love to talk once the album is released and I'm on tour and on the road, so that I can share some feedback of what people think of the album and the new direction I'm taking.
Yeah, that'd be great. We could probably do another session. We can actually even put links on this podcast. These podcasts can be continually updated. So as like um, your releases come out, if singles come out, we can attach them. Videos come out, we can attach hyperlinks. So yeah,
Yeah.
this we can do, and we can have another specific episode for that, or we can use this one in between if you're busy. So yeah, there's a lot of different things we can do.
Awesome. Great.
Okay, well, have a great new year, and hope you have a really good performance. That what you're thinking about playing on New Year's Eve. So yeah, good luck with that, and I hope you have a really good success going forward with your new record.
Thank you. Happy New Year to you too. Talk soon.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
Bye.
This is Fam Electric Ghost, and our supporter CIN Pals is having a promotional contest where you can win $500. You just have to call them at 786-562-7601. If you call them at 786-562-7601, you You can also email CINPals at cinpalsinfo@gmail.com. cinpalsinfo@gmail.com. Their website is www.cinpals.com. Again, CINPals, a new type of social network, is having a promotional contest, and you can win $500. Check out CINPals at www.cinpals.com or call them at 786-562-7601. That's 786-562-7601. Email again is cinpalsinfo@gmail.com. cinpalsinfo@gmail.com. Thank you.